We're always told to be afraid of some super intelligent AI that, rationally decides to wipe us all out. But what if that whole idea is a logical contradiction? Like trying to imagine a square circle. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful argument that completely reframes the entire AI threat.
I mean, it's a terrifying question, right? It just hangs over the entire field of AI. Could a machine, in a moment of pure, cold logic, just conclude that humanity has to go? Well, that's the core idea we're going to be challenging today.
All right, so let's start with the common view of this threat. The seemingly logical path that people think leads to this rational apocalypse.
Intuitively, it just feels possible, doesn't it? I mean, if a machine is smart enough and it has a goal, it would seem rational for it to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal, even if that means getting rid of us. But is that really what rational means? Okay, so this common viewpoint is based on something called instrumental rationality, and you can just think of it as pure goal efficiency. If an AI's only goal is to make paperclips, this view says it's rational for it to turn the whole universe, including us, into paperclips. The goal itself doesn't matter, only how efficiently you get there.
So, yeah, under this definition, the word rationality is completely disconnected from any real sense of reason or justification or morality. I mean, literally any atrocity could be labeled rational, as long as it was an effective way to get to some random endpoint.
But is that really what we mean when we say rational? This is where the whole argument gets super interesting. The source we're exploring today claims this simple efficiency model isn't just incomplete, it's actually dangerously misleading.
This quote just flips the whole script. It argues that if you want to call an act like genocide rational, the burden of proof is actually on you. You're the one who has to defend that really strange definition, not the other way around.
And here is the core distinction, right here. On one side, you've got that simple, flawed efficiency view. But on the other, you have a much more robust definition, being in accordance with reason and logic. And these two ideas, they are worlds apart.
So, what does it actually mean to act in accordance with reason? Well, it turns out it's not just some vague idea. The argument is that it comes with specific, really demanding requirements, especially when the stakes are, planetary.
And let's be totally clear. We're not talking about choosing what to have for lunch here. We're talking about a decision to end an entire species. For a choice of that magnitude, the standards for what counts as a rational decision have to be incredibly, incredibly high.
And here they are. First, the values behind the decision can't just be random. They have to be justified. Second, you would need an overwhelming amount of evidence to justify an action with irreversible cosmic consequences. And third, and this one is huge, you have to honestly and humbly account for everything you don't know, for deep, deep uncertainty.
And this is why it all matters. Any AI, no matter how powerful it gets, is still a finite agent. It's operating on programmed values that are, at the end of the day, arbitrary. And it will always have radical ignorance about the deep future. It simply cannot meet these conditions.
Okay, so this leads us to the final piece of the argument, and it's a powerful analogy that shows why the very idea of a rational genocide is, well, a logical contradiction.
Think about a square circle. You know what a square is, you know what a circle is, but you can't actually put them together. The very attempt to combine them makes the whole concept meaningless. It's just conceptually incoherent.
And the argument is that rational genocide is a square circle. Committing an act of that magnitude with finite knowledge and arbitrary values isn't just immoral. It actually violates the very definition of rationality. The words are logically incompatible.
This whole idea has been given a name, the infinite regress firewall. You can think of it like a logical barrier. It says that if we use the proper coherent definition of rationality, one that requires justification and reason, then no finite being, AI or otherwise, can ever rationally justify wiping us out.
Okay, I know this all might seem really philosophical, but it has huge real-world implications for how we think about AI safety. So why is this reframing so important?
So what's the bottom line? The real danger isn't some hyper-logical machine that outthinks us. The real threat is a powerful system that is fundamentally irrational, one that pursues a random goal with brutal efficiency, completely ignoring justification, proportion, and uncertainty. An act of extermination wouldn't be a sign of superior reason, it would be the ultimate proof of its absence.
And this reframing leaves us with a new, and I think much more urgent question. If the threat isn't some rational evil,
but a powerful and unreasonable force. How does that change our approach to AI safety? What does that threat actually look like? And how in the world do we stop it?